Hey everybody, how's it going? This is the Scrapper Tap Podcast. Today we're going to be breaking down UFC Fight Night, Holm versus Aldana. First, we're going to be doing a quick recap, as always, over UFC 253, Adesanya versus Costa. And, man, this was a great fight card, and we did very good on the picks. We went 8 for 12, so we were wrong on a couple. We were wrong on 4. But we hit on the main event and the co-main event. So if you've been rocking with me, if you were watching last week, you saw we were going with a big underdog, Jan Blachowicz, and he got it done. Saturday night, I was walking around like my poster back here. I was doing that money walk. He hit big for me on DK and a couple bets I made. So I was very happy with this card. And like I said, we did pretty good, man. A lot of people were going with Dominic Reyes, and I didn't think it was going to be quite as dominant and easy as it, no, not as easy, but as dominant as it was. I thought Dominic was actually going to maybe win the first round, and I did call for the second round KO. You can go back and watch it. I called for the second round KO, but I thought it was going to be kind of like a comeback thing. I thought Dominic Reyes was going to come in and he was just going to get caught, being a little confident after that first round, but it was not the case. Great body kicks by Jan really opened everything up, and he was just landing. It seemed like he was landing almost everything he was throwing. He looked great in there. So Jan Blachowicz, the Polish power, came through for us. So we have a new light heavyweight champion, Jan Blachowicz. And then the main event, man, Adesanya versus Paulo Costa. I called for the Adesanya KO. I knew he was going to be forced to do it. I thought Paulo was going to come in a little bit stronger, look a little better. He didn't really throw as much, especially as much as he was talking, but it is what it is. Adesanya is the real deal. We'll see who he gets next. I like the idea of Jared Cannonier if Jared wins this next one. Jared Cannonier is actually one of my dark horses, so I think I'm going to be rooting for him. Anyways, after that, I was wrong on the Brandon Royval versus Kai Kara France. Brandon Royval looked great out there. That was a fun fight. Went back and forth. So Vieira got it. Brad Riddell. So my lock hit. Brad Riddell did what he had to do, and my underdog of the night, Ludwig Klein, hit. Even though I was taking Shane Young, I knew that was a live underdog. Klein got it done, and my lock of the night, which was Brad Riddell, got it done. After that, there's some pretty good fights, but we're going to get into this next card, man. So we went 8 for 12, and we hit on the co-main and main event. I was real happy with that underdog hit with Jan Blachowicz. So enough celebrating. We're on to this next week. We're going to fire through the prelims like always, and then we'll go over the main card. Let's keep it rolling. So first, we got the minus 125 Luigi Vendramini versus Jacine Ayari. Ayari, the plus 100. Okay, man, so we got Jacine coming in with more experience, definitely more experience. He's 4 years older, and just much more fights. He's 16-5 versus Luigi's 8-1. Yeah, man, I'm gonna start it off. I'm taking the experience here. I like Jacine. I was looking at their tape. He went to decision with Stevie Ray. Stevie Ray's not bad competition, man. It was a good fight. Not a bad fight for him. Let me pull up his Tapology real quick. But yeah, he had a good little war with Stevie Ray. Before that, let me pull it up because I think he had a couple more fights. The ESPN or the UFC, I'm sorry, website's only showing one UFC fight. I believe he had a couple more. So yeah. So he fought Darren Till, and he lost by decision. And then Jim Wallhead, he got a win in the UFC Fight Night 93 back in 2016. So 2016, 2017, he was facing good competition like Darren Till. See, sometimes you just got to go to Tapology. I don't know why UFC, their website doesn't always show all their fights. So, man, he's been in there with good competition like Darren Till, even though that was in 2017. I like it here. I think it's going to be a little bit too much for Luigi Vendramini. But you look at his, he's been fighting pretty decent competition as well. I just, I need to see a little bit more of him before I put my money behind him. He could definitely prove me wrong. But Yeah, I like the odds and everything here. So I'm looking at his record. He has one fight in the UFC. Flying. Okay, yeah, he lost to Zaleski. Yeah, so I mean, I'm sticking with just seeing Ayari. I like the plus 100 underdog here. So we're gonna start it off with an underdog. After that, we got the minus 225 Casey Kenney versus Halil Alateng, the plus 187. Now this one can be a good fight, but man, I'm a big fan of Casey Kenney. I like the output. I like his striking, and I think he's going to be able to do a lot of that here in this fight. Let me pull up Casey Kenney's record real quick. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he's coming off a good win. So Casey Kenney's 14-2-1, and Helene Alting is 14-7-1. So they both have pretty good records. Casey Kenney's coming off a nice submission win over Luis Smolka. I knew it was a nice win, and then before that, he lost to Merab Dalashvili. But man, that's not expected, but that's a tough fight. You're going in there with such a dominant wrestler. That stuff's gonna happen. But that is just great competition that he's been facing. And before that, he has a decision win over Manny Bermudez, and then a decision win over Ray Borg. I like Casey Kenney's trajectory. Man, he's looking good, but he is going against a tough fighter. Alateng, he's not a joke. He's had some good wars himself. So his last fight, he is coming off a win over Ryan Benoit, a decision, and then Dana Balategel in 2019. But yeah, the Ryan Benoit fight, he actually looked pretty good. So I think he definitely can get it done. He has some opportunities, but I like Casey Kenney here. I think he's going to be slightly better in every position, and I think it's going to stay standing up. I think it's going to be a good war, and I think Casey Kenney should get it done. I wouldn't be surprised if Casey Kenney got a couple takedowns. I could be sleeping on his opponent, but I'm rocking with Casey Kenney to get it done. Get it done by, I'm going to say submission. Submission or decision. Casey Kenney's going to get it done, though. All right, after that, we got the minus 125 Loma Lookboonme versus Jean Frey. Jean Frey is the plus 100. Man, there's some tough names on this one, so pardon me on a couple of these. But we got Loma coming in. She's 24 years old with a 4-2 record, and then Jean Frey. Much older, man. She's 35, much more experienced. She's 9-5, but I like experience. But here I'm going with the younger opponent, and she's had good experience herself. Her last fight, she is coming off a loss, but against Angela Hill, and her right before that, she had a win over Alexandra Albu, and it was a decision win. So man, she has a good opponent in Angela Hill. She did lose, but she has a lot more upside than Jean Frey. We've seen Jean Frey. She's been in some pretty fun fights, but there's not too much for me to back. Her last fight was against Kay Hansen, got submitted. I'm gonna go with TKO or submission for Loma here. And Frey's getting up there in age, so I'm going with the younger fighter, Loma Lookboonme, to get it done. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. After that, we got the minus 150 Jordan Williams versus Narsardine Imavov, the plus 125 underdog. So I believe we just saw Jordan Williams on the Contender Series. I think it was the second time on the Contender Series, if I'm not mistaken. He's 29 years old, 9-3, won no decision or no contest. But he looked pretty good in his fight. He's young, and I think he's gonna be the type of fighter that he has a lot of wars, and he's gonna have fun fights that we like. I don't know if he's gonna make a run for a title or anything. Now I can be wrong. I don't. It's a small sample size of what I'm going off of. He looks very athletic when he's in there, but he has a TKO win over Gregory Rodriguez. That was in the Contender Series that I was talking about. Before that, he has a loss in the Contender Series. It was a split decision, so that's a tough one against another really good opponent. If I'm not mistaken, it was a lot of wrestling in that one, but I think I could be wrong. So like I said, man, he looks good in there. But I feel like it's going to be very similar to his last, not the Contender Series that he won, but the Contender Series fight that he lost. Imavov, I think I think this kid's gonna be good, man. I was watching some tape and he looked good on his feet, and I think he has actually a pretty solid ground game as well. He looks scrappy. I think he's gonna be able to hang with Jourdain on his feet, and if he gets in trouble, be able to go to the ground and do what he has to do to get it done. I'm pulling up his record right now, and he's 8-2. And his last fight, he has a ground and pound win. Before that, a Kimura win, and they're against decent opponents: 9-1, 6-5. He has a decision unanimous win over a 12-4 opponent. So he's fighting decent opponents. I don't really know any of the guys. He's fighting in, different promotions besides UFC or Bellator. But he's getting it done, and he's looking good. I'm going with another underdog here. I could be totally wrong. Jourdain come out here and starts this guy. He has that capability. Like I said, he's athletic. He looks pretty. His punching's pretty crisp as well. But I think he's gonna lose a lot of close decisions in fights unless he puts people out. And I don't think he's gonna do that here. So I'm gonna take another underdog by submission or decision. Narsadine Imavov. I'm gonna go with decision though. All right. Let's go. After that, we got the -400 Charles Jourdain versus Joshua Culibao. The +300 Culibao. So, that's a nice record from Joshua Culibao. He's 8-1. He's 26 years old. They're both very young here, 26, and then Charles Jourdain's 24. Let's start with Charles Jourdain. Know a little bit more about him anyways, right? We've seen him against Andre Fili. It was a tough, good fight, but he lost a decision. And then before that, he has a nice KO win over Choi Dohu. Second round KO, and then a decision loss to Desmond Green. So, man, he was thrown straight into the mix when he got into the UFC. Some tough, good fights. And, man, he's looked good. I like him. He's here to bang. He's here to throw down, and he's fought with some really good opponents. And Joshua Culibao, he fought Jalen Turner, man, and I'm a big fan of Jalen Turner, but he got knocked out in the second round, and that it's a tough loss. But Jalen Turner's a young, great prospect as well. But that's what we see from him when he gets to the UFC. Now, I'm not saying he hasn't been in some good fights, some good wars before that. He has. I pulled up some tape. He doesn't look bad. Let me see. Before that, he has a KO win over Josh Payne. I think that was the one I saw some. I think I saw some tape on that one with Josh Payne. But that's going against an 8-8 fighter. But yeah, he has a lot of KO wins. Just not the greatest of opponents. Will he get it done? He could be a live dog here, but I'm going with the big favorite, the -400 Charles Jourdain. We're not going with an underdog on that one. All right. After that, we got a fun fight, man. We got two vets. Two guys that every time they fight, I'm always down to tune in. And I'm glad the UFC is lining these up. The matchmakers, I think they did very good on this one. Not feeding these guys to too great of opponents, because I don't think they're making any runs anytime soon. We got the -110 Carlos Condit versus Court Mcgee, the -110. It's a pick'em, as it should be. So we got Carlos Condit coming in at 36 years old, and we got Court Mcgee coming in at 35 years old with identical reach. And Carlos Condit's a little bit taller. We're gonna start with Carlos Condit here. All right, guys, he hasn't fought since 2018, so he's had a 2-year layoff. And, his two fights were against Michael Chiesa and then Alex Oliveira, and was submitted in both of them. Those are great opponents, guys. But these were both second-round submissions. He just didn't look quite like he used to look, And then before that, in 2017, he has a loss to Neil Magny because he's fighting, top of the top competition. And once again, in 2016, a submission loss to Damian Maia, and then a decision loss to Robbie Lawler. That pushes us back to 2015. That's the last time Carlos Condit has a win. It's a knockout win against Thiago Alves. All right. That's a guy that's going to sit in there and bang with you. Another thing is, guys, he hasn't had a win since 2015. That's 5 years. He's older. He is an older fighter, but so is Court Mcgee. So this is the type of fight, And he never took the step down in competition until maybe now, Court Mcgee. So I see I see why he's taking this fight. I see the possibility to win. But let let's break down Court Mcgee before I give my prediction. So then we got Court Mcgee. He's been much more active. In 2019, he fought Sean Brady, went to decision and lost. It's a loss, but he went to decision, not bad. And then he fought Diego Lima and went to decision as well. Those are two tough fighters that are still doing their thing, man, on the rise in this welterweight division. And then, so let's break it down. His last win was in 2018 against Alex Garcia. So he has actually got a W in the last couple fights that he's been in the last 3. He's won 1, and then in 2017 he has 2 straight losses, but much more active than Carlos Condit. I'm gonna have to go with the activity. I'm gonna take Court Mcgee to get it done. I think there's gonna be a lot of wrestling, some good exchanges, and I don't know if Carlos Condit's chin is there anymore. I think Court Mcgee's gonna catch him with something, and then submit him with like some type of rear naked or something like that, a guillotine. So I'm going to take Court Mcgee by submission to get it done over Carlos Condit. But that's a fun throwback fight, man. It's cool that they're throwing 2 older guys and not just feeding them to another dog. They both fought some dogs their last couple fights. Let one of these guys go away with the win, and who knows? I'm not saying hang it up, but we'll see where it goes from there. All right. After that, we're getting into the main card. All right. We got the minus 450 Kyler Phillips versus the plus 325 Cameron Else. I'm not gonna sit on this too much. I'm gonna take Kyler Phillips here. Yeah, his last fight was against Gabriel Silva, went to decision. He looked okay. There's not too much, but I like that he's younger and he has a possibly bigger upside. But the 33-year-old Cameron Else, he hasn't really shown much. He's making his debut, but I look at his Tapology. I looked at a couple of his other fights. He looks like a decent 500 fighter that's going to show up and put in good fights. Now, I can be wrong. He is on a little streak. His last fight, he won a guillotine choke versus Brad Evans. Brad Evans is 3-14, guys. So look, these are the guys he's fighting. The fight before that, he won by TKO, 0-1. And then he has a TKO win over a 4-0 guy. Before that, referee stoppage, an 0-0 guy. Before that, he has another win, 1-1, rear naked choke. Before that, 0-0. So he's on a run, but out of that run, he's only fought in one guy with a winning record. Okay? Out of 6 fights. And then before that, when he was fighting decent guys, 9-7, he lost to knees. 3-0, he got the win. 6-1, he lost. So when he fights the step up, when he gets to step up in opponents, he's just not able to hang. It seems like whatever promotion he was in, whatever type of management, they really built him up. It looks like Fusion, Brave. He was fighting lower promotions, and they were just giving him cans, man. He worked his way up. I could be wrong. I don't really know too much about him, who he trains with. Maybe he's going to prove me wrong, but I think Kyler Phillips is going to have enough to edge a decision or finish it. I don't see too much from Cameron Else, but like I said, he could prove me wrong. But I'm taking Kyler Phillips to get it done by decision. After that, we got the plus 240 Daquan Townsend versus Dusko Todorovic. Could be pronouncing that one wrong as well. This is going to be a decent fight, man. Let's break it down. Now, Daquan Townsend, man, he's known for, coming in and taking these last-second fights. I'm not saying he's doing that here, but he's always down to step up and put on a fight. But he hasn't got the better of any of these opponents lately. His last fight was against Devin Clark, lost a decision. Bevion Lewis lost a decision. Daucha, Luga, Mbula KO'd him. So, man, he's in there for some wars, but, he's kind of in a punching bag. He's 34 years old. I don't see the progression. He's a tough one to put money behind. And then we have Dusko Todorovic, and I could be butchering that, man. But he's 9-0. I checked out a couple of his fights, couple videos. He looks young. He's hungry. I think he's young. Let me double check that. Yeah, man. He's 26 years old, I believe. He was booked to fight John Phillips 3 times before this. Got canceled, I'm sure, because of COVID. Before that, he fought an opponent which was 14-4 in the Contender Series, and he got the decision unanimous. Before that, he fought Michel Piera, which is 20-8. We know of him. He got it done. That was back in 2018 by punches, TKO. So, man, he's looked good. He's fought some decent opponents, man. The records aren't bad, and I think he's just going to be the hungrier, younger fighter over to Townsend. I think he's going to get it done. I wouldn't be surprised TKO. I want to say just decision, because Townsend's tough. He's going to be in there to bang, so I'm going to take Dusko Todorovic to get it done by decision. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a TKO there, but I'm going with decision. So then we got the -110 Randamie versus Juliana Pena, the -110. This is a pick'em. It definitely should be a pick'em. Juliana Pena has been looking good. I'm going to start with her. She's 10-3. She's the younger fighter, 31. Randamie's 36. She hasn't fought since 2019, and in 2019 she beat Nico Montana by decision. And then she took a little layoff. She has it was before that. She fought in 2017, and that was a submission loss to Shevchenko. So she took some time off, came back, and got a good win. So you'd like to see that after a tough loss. Before that, she was in there with the likes of Kat Zingano. She beat her in 2016, and she beat Jessica Ai in 2015. So, man, she's been in there with some great opponents. And she's looked really good. She definitely has a shot, man. But Germaine de Randamie, she is a tough boxer. She was a kickboxer, I believe, before this. Her stand-up is tough. And the only people to beat her are people like Amanda Nunes. Before that, she fought Aspen Ladd, KO'd her in the first round. We remember the weight cut for Aspen Ladd, so that might have been a little, due to that. But she got it done really quick in that one. Before that, she fought Raquel Pennington, which, she just had to avoid that big punch, definitely did. And she went to decision and beat Raquel Pennington. And in 2017, she beat Holly Holm. And I think back, it was 15 or 2013, she goes KO'd by Amanda Nunes. So that's the only opponent that's really been able to get to her in the octagon. And I think it's going to stay that way, man. Juliana Pena has a chance. Maybe she can pull guard. Maybe she'll stand up with her, but I don't see that. I think her best path is to get it down on the ground, use her jiu-jitsu or something. I think it's just going to be tough for her standing up. I'm trying to see how many submissions she has. If that's good. She has an armbar. No, that's against her. She likes to stand up, punch. She has a lot of stoppages and decisions. I don't know. Everything's leaning towards Germaine de Randamie. I'm going with Germaine de Randamie. Maybe they thinking she's fallen off a little old, or maybe I'm sleeping on Juliana Pena. I know a lot of people are really high on her, but yeah, I'm gonna take Germaine de Randamie to get it done, and I think it's gonna be standing up TKO or just decision, because Pena just doesn't have enough for Germaine de Randamie. So I'm taking her to get it done. TKO or decision. After that, we got the -275 Jourdain de Castro versus Carlos Felipe, the plus 225 underdog. So they're giving Jourdain the favorite. Jourdain de Castro is 33 years old. Felipe is 25, so much younger, but similar records. Castro's record 6-1. Felipe's 8-1. Now, Jourdain de Castro, we already know he fought Greg Hardy last, went to decision, but he looked pretty good. He just wasn't pulling the trigger enough, But I'm hoping he shows up like he did against Justin Tafa and got that first round KO. I think this fight's going to be a lot similar to the Tafa fight than Greg Hardy. Greg Hardy's very athletic, man. We know Greg Hardy's tough. He's not only a good striker, but he's very athletic and tough to hang with. His size is going to be tough for a lot of heavyweights. I think Carlos Felipe, and like I said, he's going to be a lot more similar to Justin Tafa, and I don't think Castro's going to have a problem unleashing and letting his shots go. I think it's going to be who beats who to the punch. Carlos Felipe fought Spivak before this fight, lost to decision. Before that, he was fighting other guys, and he has a couple KO wins. He's a big swinger. But man, I'm liking De Castro here. Felipe is the Brazilian, so Yeah, he has a couple KO wins. I don't know, man. I think Castro's going to beat him to the punch. I think it's going to be like the Tafa fight. That's what I see when I look at this. Carlos Felipe, he's a live dog. Any heavyweight is. He can come in there with the puncher's chance. But I'm taking Yorgan de Castro. Man, he's a mean dude, and I think he's going to get it done. All right, then we're getting to the main event. We got Holm versus Irene Aldana. Holm coming in as the minus 125 favorite. Aldana coming in as the plus 100 underdog. I get that. I think those odds are right on. Holm definitely deserves to be the favorite. She's only been fighting the upper echelon of opponents since she's been in the UFC. And Irene Aldana is a little bit younger, and she's trying to make a run. So Holm's 38 years old, maybe on the end of her career, but she's still putting in great wins. And Aldana is coming in at 32, 6 years younger. So Holm, she fought Raquel Pennington, went to decision and won. It was a little bit of a lackluster fight, but she did everything she had to do to get the win, outpointed her, and stayed away from the big punches from Raquel. She looked good. Before that, 2019, KO'd by Amanda Nunes, but come on, guys, that's going to happen to just about anybody that fights the Lioness. Before that, she fought Megan Anderson, got a decision win over that long, tall opponent. And before that, lost to Chris Cyborg. Before that, beat Beth Carrera by Betch Carrera by a KO, and then lost to Jermaine Randamie. So she loses to, those tough boxers, those top of the, we got Amanda Nunes, Jourdain, Randamie, and Chris Cyborg. Those are the only people to beat her, and those are just tough opponents, man. Those are three of the best women's, I wanted to say bantamweight, but I'm just talking in just women's fighters in general. Those are three of the top fighters, man. So she's only loses to the top of the top. I just keep saying top echelon opponents. And is Irene Aldana there yet? I don't know, man. I don't know if she's quite there yet. She has a KO win over Caitlin Vieira, which we just saw fight this last weekend and looked really good. Went to decision this last weekend, but Irene knocked her out. Before that, has a decision win over Vanessa Mello, and then a decision loss to Raquel Pennington. We are not doing no MMA math, so just because she lost to Raquel does not mean she doesn't have a shot. She definitely does. I think it's just going to be tough here. I think Holm's going to use her fight IQ. I think she's going to be the smarter fighter. She's going to stay away from any big shot like what Irene Aldana landed on Vieira. I think she's going to stay away from all that. She's going to be smart. She's going to put her up against the cage if she has to. Maybe even take her down. I don't see that. I don't think she's going to want to have to mess with the ground game. But yeah, I think she's going to use a lot of kicks, a lot of leg kicks, maybe a couple of head kicks. Maybe she'll even catch her, bring back the old days like when she caught Ronda. Not sure if that's going to happen, but I'm taking Holm to get it done by decision. Irene's definitely a live dog, so, it is what it is on that one. I'm taking Holm until she proves that that she can't hang with the top and she's not one of the best in this women's bantamweight division. I'm rolling with Holm. All right, so I'm going to give you my locks and my underdog that can get it done. So my lock of the night, I'm going with, I was going to take Yorgan de Castro, but I'm taking Kenney to get it done. This one's a tough one for me because I don't know too much about his opponent, but I do like Kenney a lot. The research I did, I don't think his opponent's going to be able to beat him in any situation, so I'm taking Kenney as my lock. And my underdog of the night, I'm going to take one that I did not choose. I'm going to take one that definitely has a shot. He can show up. And it's kind of messing me up because one of them was going to be Roman Kopylov. That was somebody I was thinking. But I can't really go with that. I'm going to have to take Luigi Vendramini. Oh, but he is a favorite. Never mind. I can't do that. I'm sorry. We're taking Irene Aldana. Irene Aldana is our underdog of the week that can get it done, even though I'm rocking with Holm. Irene Aldana, if she gets it done, will not surprise me. But my lock of the week is Kenney. Let me know who y'all got in the main event, co-main event. If y'all agree, disagree with any of these picks, let me know what you feel about my my locks, and my underdogs. Let me know, man. We did great last week. Hopefully we can keep it coming. Thank you all for tuning in. This is the Scrapper Tap Podcast.